history. Coming from Wexford, we regard the original lockout, of course, has been 1911, 1912, as the precursor for, I suppose, the more historically significant event that took place in Dublin. Often, Labour history is written out of the official history, where nationalist events or events that are related to the building of the nation are seen as more significant. But this is important. It was about establishing basic rights for workers. I suppose many people would see the lockout itself as a failure. It wasn't, of course, Larkin's initiative. It was a preemptive strike by Martin Murphy and the employers to lock out workers, to smash the notion of organised labour. And although enormous suffering was endured for the 6 months of the lockout, the fact that the trade union movement survived and the fact that the trade union movement prospered subsequently, I suppose, was a success.
Can I get your reaction as well today to the Financial Services Ombudsman? Massive increase in the number of complaints that's being received. Can anything be done? Well,
I listened to him this morning and I was taken by his very clear view that the banks are not taking his office seriously, and that's very worrying. We've gone through a banking crisis that has been very costly and expensive for the people of Ireland, and the least we would expect is the banks to treat with complete respect the clients who are the citizens of this country. And I think the banks need to take very careful heed of what the Ombudsman said this morning.
I'm sure you were reading your budgetary documents while you were away on the beach down in Wexford for the summer. Curracloe, indeed. Lovely place to be this summer. Over the coming recent weeks, there have been concerns about the pension being cut and elderly people being concerned about that. Can you reassure people that that won't happen and that you are keeping in consideration the most vulnerable society in this forthcoming budget?
Well, I can say that Michael Noonan and myself have not fixed the budgetary parameters. We brought no proposals for the parameters of the budget to government yet, and I have embarked on no bilateral discussions with any line minister of yet. So anything that you've read about, as I have in recent times, is entirely and completely speculative.
Okay, are you ruling out a pension cut? That'd be a yes. Sorry, are you ruling out a pension cut?
I mean, I'm not going to start ruling in. You can start your long checklist of ins and outs. We have a programme for government. We know the parameters of that. We want to work towards the deficit target that we've set, which is a budget deficit of less than 3% by 2015. We've reached each step, each milestone on the way to achieving that. But we want to do that in a way that is as socially progressive as we can make it. Now, taking money out of any of the expenditure lines is difficult. It has been difficult for people all along. But we want to ensure that, as our President used to describe, a basic threshold of decency is maintained in all public expenditure.
You worried about the amount of kite flying that's being done over the summer?
Well, those particular kites are normally flown later in the year, but I suppose the fact that the budget is earlier and the summer season wasn't all that windy, but several kites were certainly flown.
Just on another subject, the Dublin bus, are you concerned that there seems to be a split within the unions between the drivers who don't want this new deal and the backroom staff who do want it?
Well, I think that there's ballots ongoing, and I think it's best, certainly for a minister who has no responsibility in the area, to leave it to the industrial relations process that is currently underway. All right?
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Is it getting in your shot?
No.